Hello there my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars video. I hope 2026 is treating you well so far, 2 days into the new year, and today I've got a very special treat. This is my favourite kind of video, outside of news and breakdowns, deleted scenes, and my prequel trilogy heart is overjoyed about this. So I received an email a couple of days ago, and a friend of mine, someone who, I talk Star Wars with, has contributed some information in the past. They sent me something very special indeed. An archive of very rare stills from Attack of the Clones. And these aren't just your run-of-the-mill behind-the-scenes photos, these are pictures that were uploaded to the Star Wars website in 2003. A year after Episode 2 released, Lucasfilm posted these online. The website back then looked very, very different, and honestly it's kind of cathartic. It reminds me of a simpler time for the internet. Before social media, there were online forums, and Lucasfilm was a very, very different company. But these stills were posted back then, and modern Lucasfilm has removed them. For their current data bank, they like to use HD stills from the actual film. But if you check the Star Wars website back in 2003, you would have found very different kinds of stills. Behind-the-scenes images, close-ups of extras who never really got the spotlight, and alternate cutscenes. These are really impressive. But to make sure I'm not just showing you a slideshow of pictures, I also want to talk about deleted scenes from the movie that you might not know about. Because if you just do a simple Google or YouTube search for Attack of the Clones deleted scenes, you get the same ones that were seen on the DVD bonus features, and the ones which most fans are familiar with. Anakin meeting Padmé's family.
Hello.
This is my mother. Hello.
Obi-Wan talking with Mace Windu, Padmé's Senate speech, the Obi-Wan investigation subplot, and many others. But I want to talk about the ones you might not be aware of. These are admittedly more minor scenes, but I think they're fascinating, and one or two of them change the framing of the film. So let's dive straight in. A couple of years ago, I did actually make another Episode 2 deleted scenes video, and I spoke about the one that involves Padmé completing C-3PO. This was a scene that was deleted at the very last minute. This is something George Lucas really wanted to keep in the cut. Padmé creating a real strong relationship with 3PO, and she's the one who finished his plating on Tatooine. But interestingly enough, the toys and official merch for the movie reflected this, but it was cut in the edit, and when I made that video, we didn't have any reliable footage of the entire thing, just a couple of stills. But today, we have a better look at it. Check it out.
I never noticed.
Another deleted scene most people don't know about is Anakin meditating in a room on Coruscant. And while the footage for this scene has been mostly lost, we do have one still from the Lucasfilm archive. And the official description given by Star Wars in 2003 is this. Opening himself up to the Force, Anakin Skywalker is keenly aware of his surroundings, in this sequence cut from the final release of Episode 2. Another scene that was cut from the movie was Obi-Wan's extended investigation on Geonosis.
I am not signing your treaty until I have her head on my desk.
Now we come on to some of my favourite deleted scenes, and this one is simply just the extended cut of the Battle of Geonosis. And did you know that some of the Jedi had a lot more screen time? There was more Mace Windu, of course. You might be aware that Jango Fett's original death was a bit more brutal than the version we got in the film. But also the likes of Ki-Adi-Mundi, and even Agent Kolar, the Jedi Master who was grieving the loss of Tan Yusta, his Padawan apprentice. There were also some incredible scrapped shots of the clones versus the droids. I really wish George had left these in. Our next deleted scene is back on Kamino. After Obi-Wan is introduced to Jango Fett and Boba Fett, and before their big battle outside, Obi-Wan returns to Jango's apartment and finds it empty. Other extended sequences include Anakin and Padmé's love on Naboo. If you thought the dialogue in the movie was wooden and was a bit cringe, I reckon the extended cut might have made this worse. Other stills I came across lean into the film noir aesthetic. There are a couple of scenes where the characters look very shadowy. There was originally a scene where Mace Windu and Yoda talked after a Senate hearing, and a second one with Padmé. There are also a couple of extended scenes of Anakin and Padmé at Theed's palace on Naboo.
I never dreamed that one day I'd be living in the palace.
Something else which changed in the final edit is Anakin and Padmé's departure from Tatooine. They'd actually filmed a couple of variations of it. So our next one isn't so much a deleted scene as much as it's a very rare behind the scenes photo, and this is Sly Moore getting into her makeup. The incredible actress Sandy Finley. and Sly Moore was one of Palpatine's closest advisors and one of the creepiest Umbarans of the entire franchise. So these are some of my favourites, miscellaneous background characters who were described as Coruscant's Socialites. Then we have this shot of the Fett, another rare one which is pretty hard to find, and next we have stills for the extended cut of the chase for Zam, Anakin and Obi-Wan in the skies of Coruscant, and then of course they track her down at the Outlander Club.
It was a bounty hunter who called.
Okay, so this is another super rare one. This is the guy who officiated Anakin and Padmé's wedding. His title is Pontifex of the Brotherhood of the Cognizants, and his name is Maxeron Aguilera. Sounds a bit like Christina Aguilera. We've also got a pretty rare photo of the Neimoidians. Going back to Tatooine for a moment, one of 2 deleted scenes with Aunt Beru. This one is described as an alternate scene of Beru running to the rim of the homestead and alerting everyone that Anakin has returned, with his mother Shmi, and it's before the very sad scene where she's buried. The second deleted scene with Aunt Beru is after this. After Anakin's come back, Beru and Padmé make him dinner, and they share a conversation about the difference between Tatooine and Naboo. We also have some pretty cool additional shots of the Tusken Raiders. So, returning to Coruscant, there is a very brief additional 2-second shot of Jedi Plo Koon and Stass Allie. In the final version, those 2 Jedi are not focused on. It's when Obi-Wan gives his status report. The original fight with Count Dooku at the end of the movie was also originally extended, but the one thing I appreciate the most, looking at these deleted scenes, is the attention to detail in the makeup and costumes. Some of these alien designs, be they practical or CG, look incredible, and it goes so unappreciated because some of these just appear for a split second. I've always personally thought Attack of the Clones is super overhated. In retrospect, and I might be saying this because I was the target age when this came out, it is a charming film. I know it's had something of a redemption since the Disney content, but many fans still consider it the worst of the prequel trilogy. Revenge of the Sith might be the strongest, in my opinion, but I still love episodes 1 and 2. A couple of other additional scenes you might not know about is added dialogue when Anakin and Padmé land on Geonosis. Anakin grabs Padmé's arm to stop her from leaving the ship, and her telling him to let go. And one scene I don't see mentioned too often is a pretty brutal one during the Battle of Geonosis. Persuader-class droid enforcers had been made for a scene featuring them running over clones. But, with all of that said, my friends, thank you for watching, and let me know your thoughts on these stills and deleted scenes in the comments down below. Did you enjoy this kind of video? If you did, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check me out on socials, and I'll see you next time. May the Force be with you, always.